What's up, Saiyan Army? Welcome to the video. So, Redemption Arc, Ascension Arc. Actually, comment down below what sounds better, or if you have a better name for this series, let me know. However, body's back. As I mentioned last video, I'm feeling over 9,000. Shoulders back to 100% again. Just feeling weak from not pressing for a while. Elbow and tricep tendonitis is about 90%. I actually figured out what was causing my tricep tendonitis, and that was sleeping on my stomach. So, I always sleep on my back, and I've always been a back sleeper for my entire life. However, for whatever reason, I started rolling over. I guess I just get uncomfortable or something. And I've been rolling over onto my stomach. And I didn't catch this, but Sandra actually caught this. And she told me I would roll onto my stomach and then roll back again. So as long as I'm aware and I'm not sleeping on my stomach, then my elbow's been feeling great. And I've been obviously staying away from any exercises that irritate my tricep tendonitis. So for those of you guys with elbow issues, maybe watch how you sleep. It could be the similar reason. So anyways, starting off this workout with some weighted pull-ups. So for weighted pull-ups, I usually do like a closer neutral grip pull-up, which I'm strongest at, or like ring pull-ups, which is my favorite. Ring pull-ups have been messing with my elbow just a little bit, so I'm trying out these wide grip pull-ups and they feel great. Like, I'm not strong at these whatsoever, and it definitely doesn't feel like the strongest movement for my body. However, I'm slowly but surely working at it. So I'm doing a 40-pound kettlebell. I'm trying to do slight pause at the top, just trying to get my head above the bar, just my chin above the bar, and I'm pausing at the bottom. So when you pause at the bottom, it obviously takes away momentum and it's more strict. As you can see, I'm just trying to get this last rep out. So I think I did about 3 sets of 6 reps. I think the last one might have been a little bit more, maybe 7. However, yeah, not that strong, but slowly but surely working my way up. So for my next exercise, we're doing a little bit more lat work. So we're doing a pull down variation using the angle 90 handles. So this is something I actually did back when my tricep tendonitis was really bothering me and I couldn't even do pull-ups at all. And this feels great. Basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to pull my chest to the sky and retract as much as possible while driving my elbows down and squeezing the crap out of my back. And it feels a lot better when I put my legs up like that as well. I notice I can just get a little bit more retraction into it, and it just engages a little bit more of your back. And that's something I wanted to touch on, and I really want you guys to think about as you guys are lifting and as we go into this new year, because there are a ton of gains that are coming for you and me this year. So stay tuned. But yeah, just think about everything when you're lifting. So if you have 3 sets on the bench press and it's scheduled, and this is something I try to teach my clients as well, don't just go to the bench press, set up, do your press, whatever, and maybe you're weak that day, maybe you're strong that day. If you're weak, you cry about it, blah blah blah, but you don't really think about why you're weak or what happened. So something I really want you guys to think about when you're lifting is just really everything. Like, don't try to get too much in your head, so don't hear what I'm not saying. However, really think about your form. Think about things like your foot placement. What happens if you put your feet, a little bit more out? What happens if you open up your hips more? What happens if you tuck your feet out? What happens if you put your heels down? What happens if you put your toes down? What does that change for, your leg drive when you bench? Maybe that little adjustment can add 5, 10, 20 pounds to your bench. What happens if you grip more neutral, like Tehran? He's a real tricep dominant bencher, so he grips super narrow when he benches 500, which is amazing to me because it does increase the range of motion a lot. So think about all that kind of stuff, from retraction to elbow placement to grip to going wider, narrower. Just a half an inch on the grip can make all the difference in the world. So next exercise, we're doing these bent over rows. So these are hands down my favorite. Basically, I'm using the arc bar. Shout out to Bells of Steel, my sponsor, and make sure to check them out. Best home gym gear on the market. But basically, I'm using the bench to stabilize my body and take my lower back out of the equation. And as you can see from this back angle, my lower back is not flexing whatsoever, even though you can see me physically retracting at the top, and it does look like I'm arching my lower back. From the back, you can tell that I'm not engaging it at all, so it feels great. So next exercise, this is something that I've been doing for a really long time that I stopped, but pretty much since I started lifting at about 15 years old till all the way till I moved to New York. This was a key staple movement in my bicep training, and that is incline dumbbell curls. And for whatever reason, I stopped doing them, but we're bringing it back and we're getting slowly but surely stronger at it. So there's 2 ways you can do this. Obviously, you can do them with both arms at the same time, or you can do them unilaterally like I'm doing now. When you do them unilaterally, you're gonna be stronger. So what my plan is to do them unilaterally for sets of about 5 to 8. Once I get to 8, I'll start doing them both at the same time and slowly increase the weight from there. I'm not exactly sure how heavy I really want to go on this exercise. I might even bump up to 10, so maybe do 10 unilaterally and then 10 together, and then once I hit that, maybe then increase to maybe 50 pounds. However, like, it's getting pretty heavy. Like, that's why it's so important to start light and really enjoy the process of training, because if you start too heavy, then then progress gets a lot slower. You know, the most fun part about jumping on a new program, jumping on a new split is making the progress week to week. That's why I always recommend, even my online clients, to start light. Like if it's a heavy set of 5, start with something you can do easily for 6 to 8 and just practice form. Get used to the workout, get used to the volume. So something I'm also doing when I'm doing these curls is I'm trying to control the negative. Like yes, it looks like I'm dropping them, especially because it's my last set, but in my mind I'm thinking slow and steady on the way down. And here you can also see my body fat distribution. I don't carry a lot of fat on my arms. However, you know, I got that lower belly pooch going on, and that's pretty much how I know my body fat's a little bit higher than usual. And yes, I'll be doing more full days of eating as my schedule frees up, and I'll just give you guys all my measurements and weights and everything so you guys can see. I feel like I'm already progressing. I'm already recomping some lost muscle, and I think I definitely can, and even ascend past that. That's the goal actually for this year. I mean, as long as my schedule and everything works together. But yeah, pretty much once I lose my lower abs, that's when training feels the best for myself. But my physique doesn't really look the greatest. For a lot of you guys would consider this a shredded physique. However, for me and like my genetics, and after training for 20 years, this is a little bit higher body fat than I'm used to, and that's all fine because I can always cut down later. I'm really enjoying training, and I'm just gonna continue to eat to grow. And also understand, this is my physique fully pumped up under some pretty good lighting, so understand that I look a lot softer when I'm flat, deflated, you know, no pump in bad lighting as well. So for this next exercise, we're doing hammer curls. Now these are my 2 favorite bicep exercises at the moment. Actually I have 3, but I don't have a preacher curl machine. So the first one would be incline dumbbell curls. I just like the range of motion that they have on them, and yeah, you can really just control the negative on them, which is why I love it. The second one I really like is hammer curls. Hammer curls has been a staple in my workout for pretty much ever. For the past 20 years, I think I've always done hammer curls. Maybe not in the very beginning when I was learning to lift and whatever, but once I got consistent and started understanding training and everything, hammer curls have always been in there. So I owe hammer curls a lot of my forearm gains and bicep gains. And for the last exercise, now this was a toss-up before one arm rows. I do these one arm cable rows. I think I showed in a video before. I love those. However, these feel amazing as well. It probably didn't make sense, granted everything I did before, and even doing the other lat pull down variation as my second exercise. However, I just felt like doing this, so we did it today. And basically I'm using this, I think it's called a mag grip handle. This is like a knockoff Chinese version I found on Amazon that was cheap. However, when you do these pull downs, make sure you're bringing the bar all the way down to your chest. Like I'm making sure I'm tapping the bar on my chest with every rep, and you just get this amazing squeeze and contraction down your center back, and it just feels good. It just feels like it opens everything up, and it just feels like icing on top the cake to finish off this back workout. And as you can tell, I've been loving training lately, which is why I'm sharing it with you guys. I notice when I'm not loving my training, I don't really share it, which is why I didn't have too much workout videos in the past couple years. However, it is gaining season, it is ascension season, and I hope you guys are ready for it. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe, like the video. For online coaching, email me, gokuflex@gmail.com. For those guys who are serious about not being a Yamcha and ascending in your training, changing your life, shoot me an email. And for programs, stayinarmy.com. Much love, strength, and honor. Aloha.